year. Today is Super Bowl Sunday. Bet with your head, not over it. It is just a game. It pays exactly the same as any of the other games on the board. It has a lot more options to bet, a lot more prop bets. We'll probably get into a little bit of that on today's show. Probably not as much. We did a prop bet show yesterday. It's out there on YouTube. Ruflo and I each gave out a bunch of props, and I really liked it. I really liked the ones that I gave out a lot. I like some of the ones that Chris gave out too. Of course, there's college basketball today as well, and we'll see how that all pans out. We'll go over that. We'll go over the NBA. So I'll bring in our usual cast of characters, and we will get rolling with it. We'll probably cover the other sports first and then come back to the Super Bowl because I'd rather do it when most people are watching. I have a special prop bet at the end of the show that I'll be doing, a prop bet that I didn't cover on yesterday's show with a special guest appearance. So
it better not be the penny.
It's not that. It is the penny. Thanks, Frank. Penny will determine the coin toss.
I thought I put that penny out.
No. The penny will determine. We're going to do the prop bet, heads or tails, with the penny. For the is what we're going to do. Anyways, good morning, everyone. We've got NBA. Let's get it started with that. 5 games today. Utah up against Indiana. Interesting game here, I think. Knicks and Heat. Got the Celtics and the Suns, the Clippers and the Red Hot Kings, and got Washington and Charlotte. Brian coming off of a monster day, his best day of the year so far of 2021.
Might be the best day in 2 years.
Yeah, it was, Brian had one of those days that you dream about. You know, you can't miss. It's like everything's going right. It's like you need 1 point for the cover with 8 seconds left to go. The other team has the ball, hits off the guy's foot, goes out of bounds. They pass into the big guy. He misses the shot, and some guy comes following through with the dunk, and then they just dribble out. It's like that's when you get those. That you don't say a word. you don't brag. You don't say a word. You go. You cash your ticket. You quietly go to bed. That's it. That is what you do when you get those.
I couldn't sleep last night. I was so excited.
Oh yeah, but it's like those are the ones you quietly walk away. You don't. It's like days like that. They happen.
There were a couple games I looked at yesterday, and I thought, oh man, Tennessee's never going to cover, or the Northwestern, they're getting their butts kicked, and it's just
that was the one.
Seemed to roll.
I mean, that was the one. If you were on the right side of that game, man, that was your day. Those days come around once every 5 years. If you were on that right side of that Northwestern game, those are the ones. Those are the ones that when it's all over in the end. It's like those are the ones that sometimes make the difference. It's like Purdue is covering. They have the whole game covered, and the ball hits off the guy. Somehow Northwestern gets the ball. The guy misses the shot. And then the guy comes in and dunks it. With 1 second left to go for meaningless 2. Anyways, we'll move on. But anyways, we got this NBA card here, Brian. What do you think?
Yesterday, I liked the New York Knicks. I think I'm going to flip-flop and go with the Miami Heat. The Heat need to start playing better. I think that's going to start happening very soon. So I'm going to lay the points of Miami. I also like the Indiana Pacers at home. It's just the world seems like they're on the Jazz here. Jazz are playing much better basketball, but I think the Pacers sneak out of cover. And then a small lean to the Washington Wizards. Laying points on the road is always a flag for me with a crappy team like Washington. So I'm going to give them a try for $60 and see how it goes.
None of our cappers hit 70 to 80%. I hit last year in the bubble NBA basketball. I think that's the highest winning percentage that I've seen so far in a sport. So,
that's probably the highest NBA winning percentage I've seen ever. But
yeah, I think it was. It was
generally, it's usually around 59 to 61, and then you were at 63 or 64.
That was like an outlier. I mean, that was like, kind of like how Brian got that win at Northwestern. That NBA season for me was just one of those ones that you kind of just say, it's a trophy. It's like you can't I don't know. I guess you can.
It's not a journalism award, but it's up there.
Yeah, it's not a journalism award. Could be though. Could be. Chris, you see anything on this NBA card? It's one of those days, It's like, I said to the guys after the show yesterday, it's like I'm not a big Super Bowl guy, and I've never treated our websites like Super Bowl was the be all and end all like some of the other sites. It seems that a lot of the European owned sites, just go crazy for the Super Bowl. Then what do you do tomorrow, right? It's like, for me, it's like I'd rather let these guys fight over the Super Bowl, which is a huge pie, and we'll just organically get our own slice like we always do. And then, we just continue to do what we do and, do hoops bigger and better than everybody else and hockey and everything else. So it's like, that's why I'm not discounting the magnitude of the Super Bowl. I'm just saying it's just another day at the office.
This is one of the few times where I actually won't fight over pie.
Of course, I'm making homemade pizza too, but so it's not just another day at the office.
What kind of sauce are you using? Because it's all about the sauce.
I make my own sauce. I make my own everything except for the cheese. I learned how to make pizza. I lived in Kentucky for a couple of years, and I learned how to make pizza because I couldn't eat the Papa John's. Couldn't do it. So that's all they really had was Papa John's Domino's. So I got a book and I learned how to make pizza, and pretty much have been making it ever since. Everything but the cheese. I make the dough. I make the sauce. I make everything but the cheese because I lived in a condo, and I think the condo board would have probably had my head if I brought the cow in there.
My mom makes homemade pizza, so I like it. Pretty good.
And smashes the like button apparently.
Yep.
I'm looking for some comments. I'm looking for the great radio show comment.
I bet Rod makes a good pizza probably too. He's a good cook.
No, we can't hear.
There. I make a pretty good pizza. I muted it. I didn't think you wanted to hear my furnace going.
I happen to make a really good pizza. Matter of fact, I will take a picture of the pizza and I will show them on the show, or I'll bring one on halftime of the game.
Imagine if Chris Ruffalo mailed me a pizza from Canada, it'd probably get here and be all green.
Okay, you know what? The toppings would all be stuck to the top of the box with how well they took care of the package.
So you got any NBA picks here, Chris?
Yes, I do. I like the Knicks plus the 6 as well. We get to really see the Heat turn the corner, and I think we're just gonna have to wait another day. I think the Heat are gonna get there eventually, but I don't think today's that day. I think this is a close game, and maybe a square play. I'm gonna stick with the Jazz on the road. 5 points is right in their wheelhouse for that cover number, and 8-2 against the number of the last 10. 8-4 against the number on the road sounds pretty good to me, so I'll take the Jazz and lay the points.
How about you, Ron?
Yeah, I like the Heat laying the points at the Knicks. The Knicks 0-2 in their last two second games of their back-to-backs. Heat 7-14 against the spread this season, but I think that something's got to give there. Jimmy Butler's probable for this game. Heat coming off a win against the Wizards last time out. Not a great team, obviously, but they beat them by 27. I think they're going to start rolling here, and I'll lay the points with Miami.
Rod, any of these games?
Yeah, for me, the Heat and the Knicks. I'm going to take under 208. As we've seen, the Heat have struggled to actually put it all together. So and the Knicks play good defense. So I like the under in that one, and I like the Pacers today over the Jazz. I know the Jazz have been on fire, but their last 7 trips to Indiana, they're only 2-5 ATS. I think the Pacers come up to play today. Keep that a close game. Jazz probably win it, but I think the Pacers keep it within a bucket. So give me the Pacers plus the points.
Yeah, I did videos on all the games. The only one that there was no line out yet when I did the videos was the Clippers and the Kings. I didn't get a chance to do it this morning because I didn't do my premium picks until this morning. So I'll take the Clippers in that one. The Kings have been red hot. It's just they're not that good. It's like they're young. I kind of do like the NBA teams that when you look at the roster, you're kind of like, these were all guys we won money on in college, right? And the Kings have that type of starting five. I mean, you look at the starting five of the Kings, it's like, I won money on this guy, I won money on this guy, I won money on this guy.
So you see them making the playoffs?
Kings? If they continue the pace of play that they've had for the last week, they certainly will.
Because I see them at like number 8 or 7.
Well, they were 9 last year, right? Or 8 or 9. They were like in the last 2 to 3 years they've been right on that borderline of making it. It's just
right on the bubble. Yeah.
They win in bunches and they lose in bunches. They just need to cut the losing bunches down. Is all they need to do. They certainly have the talent on that team. It's like I said. I mean, these are guys that we won money on for years in college. It's kind of like horse racing. It's like I won money on his father. Right? It's like I won money on his mother. I won money on his father. Mother was. Father was. Anyways. But I think that's what we see with the Kings is that you have these talented players, these high draft choices. Guys that, not all the guys that we bet on in college pan out. That's for sure, It's let's take a quick look at the roster here. I mean, there's certain rosters out there that you just every guy. There are other ones where these guys seem to come out of nowhere, right? Guys.
They had a rookie on the Kings last night who was hitting everything. I forget what his name is.
Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton.
He's good.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley III, and Rashawn Holmes. I mean, 4 of these guys were like Player of the Year candidates, right? And I believe Hield won it, right? So it's like Fox, I mean, this guy is sharp, he was razor sharp. And then you can even go further, Joseph Halliburton, Glenn Robinson III, Harrison Barnes again, Hassan Whiteside.
Scrappy guys on there.
Yeah, these are all guys we've won money on, and they have Metu, another guy we won money on. It's like not every roster has this kind of thing. Kyle Guy is on this team, another guy, right? I mean, how much money did we win on that guy? I mean, come on. I think that we did some damage with him. Oh man. Was that 2 years ago?
Yep.
Oh man. Win some money. It's like Virginia had come out of that year that they had lost in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, and a lot of people were down on them. It was like, oh yeah. Anyways, speaking of college hoops, Indiana, Iowa, Loyola, Lafayette, Cincinnati, Tulane, Charleston, Towson, the rematch. We liked Towson yesterday. They got the cover. Drake, Valpo rematch. Boy, some really nasty commentary about the Drake Bulldogs yesterday. Brian, I was surprised that you weren't calling in to chime in and fuel the fire on that. I don't know if anybody saw that, but I forget what station I was watching. It might have been on SEC Network, where they just roasted Drake. I mean, they just were pounding them. Fairfield, Quinnipiac, Loyola, Evansville, Norfolk, Coppin. That's a Romanelli game. Hampton, High Point, Hofstra, Drexel, Georgetown, Villanova. Any of those, Brian?
I'm going to be riding on the Villanova Wildcats. I know that's a big number, and they're notorious for not covering that big number, but they need to start blowing teams out. They need to come back after that St. John's loss. So I think Villanova handles business. I also like Drake today to cover. I liked Valpo yesterday. I'm going to switch gears and take Drake today.
I would love to know what Drake says about that commentary where they went off on him yesterday. I would love to know, like, if I'm sure they've heard it before. Anyways, Chris?
Yeah, I'm on Drake here as well. I mean, we've seen a lot. The trend this season is a team that doesn't cover the first part of the back-to-back or doesn't.
Well, they were down big at the half.
They were, yeah. And,
they almost covered in the end.
Yeah. Team that usually doesn't cover, bounces back in the second half. I think that's what we have with Drake here. I think they bounce back and win this one by at least 20. I'm gonna take Towson in the points against Charleston. I'm not trying to lay 4 points with Charleston even at home. I like the over 152 in the Iowa-Indiana matchup. I just think that this is a game that's going to probably hit 160. I think we have a track meet there, so that's where I'm at in that one.
I'm going to take a Drake as well. Just see a nice 40-minute performance from Drake in a game that they can't afford to let slip like they did yesterday, even though they got the result they wanted. But I think they're going to take them down by 15 plus today.
They got handled in the first half of that game.
Yeah.
They got handled.
And it was surprising, too. I didn't think Valparaiso could hang with them. But
obviously, you don't watch the SEC network, but believe me, they were all over it. they hate Drake. They hate the Drake. Hate him.
Well, I hate him, too.
They hate him. No, they really hate him. They really hate him. They hate him like an old-fashioned SEC rivalry hate him. It was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, but I also, like Mitch said, Coppin State, Norfolk State. That's my kind of game, and I'll give out the over in that game. Coppin State doesn't play too much defense, but their offenses look pretty decent in MEAC play so far. Norfolk State can also put up points. I'll take the over 150.5. I think it's total open at 148. It's going up for a reason. And I'll take a slight lean to Quinnipiac laying the points at Fairfield. I just think Fairfield's offense is just anemic, and although Quinnipiac's playing a different style of basketball than they usually play, I do think that they're the better team. So I'll lay the points with Quinnipiac.
Right.
For me, I'll take a shot with Indiana here over Iowa. Iowa's just looked like a dumpster fire the last few games. And Indiana, they're a scrappy bunch. I think they give it Iowa fits today and keep it close. Give me Iowa plus the points. And I like Drake to bounce back, get the cover, and play like they did in the second half of the game yesterday, for the whole game. Not like they played in the first half. They play a full game from start to finish.
So the commentary on Drake was, how is this team ranked? Was the discussion. Was how is this team ranked? If this team loses even one game, they don't deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. This was the discussion. And that Valpo was exposing them for the fraud they are because they've played nobody. There's these quad wins, and they're the only ranked team that doesn't have a quad 3 win, in their whole on their whole resume. And you can only play who you play, but they've played, according to the SEC network, absolutely nobody. I mean, as in nobody. And that record is a fraud. It's basically what they were saying, because they've played nobody. I mean, the SEC, what they're saying is that these guys are going to get in over one of our teams. And we saw that Scottie Pippen Jr. on Vandy yesterday. Holy shit. Right? It's like, oh my God. I mean, this guy's on the worst team in the whole league, and he's, everyone, I've been talking about Cade Cunningham. It's like, wait a second. It's like, this guy might even stay the 4 years, Imagine what he's going to be when he comes out, I'm not saying he's going to be as good as his father, right? But let's just say, I think he's going to be better than Doc Rivers' son, right? I think, apparently LeBron James' son could play, too. But, this guy, you could see the difference between him this year and last year. It's like, whoa, But anyway, so that's what the SEC is saying about Drake. They're saying they have 0 quad 3 or even 4 wins, It's like, how are they ranked? And how could you put these guys in the NCAA tournament over any of our teams?
Well, we'll get to see them perform again in the tournament, most likely.
If they get in. See, what they're saying is, like, what if they lose, along the way? Are they going to get an at-large if they don't win their conference tournament? Does Drake deserve to be there over, these other teams? I mean, look at Providence and Marquette and Seton Hall and these teams. They have lousy records, but look at who they're playing every day, And then you have Drake, who is playing, let's look at the Drake. I mean,
put him in the play-in game or something.
They don't have a top 100 win.
That's what it is. They don't have a top 100 win. And here they are struggling against 6 and 12 Valpo.
Yeah. At least they do get to play Loyola Chicago twice, but that's not really going to do much. I mean, Loyola Chicago was a good test for them, but not for a top 25 team.
Right. They're a top 25 team. They beat Illinois State, Missouri State, Southern Illinois, Indiana State, North Dakota. It's like everybody else played at least somebody. They played at least, a lot of these other teams, they played them early. Even South Dakota State played somebody early, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they play somebody early, but Drake didn't.
And South Dakota State pulled off some upsets.
Well, they're don't even get me started.
Well, Drake played Northern Iowa.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they were ranked at the beginning of the season. Northern Iowa came in the season ranked, and they beat them.
Brian's now Drake apologist.
No. I'm a Northern Iowa guy.
I'm just saying. Well I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying that this is what it is. Personally, what I see from Drake is outside of two games. Not only have they beat their opponent, they have totally taken care of business. So it's like. That's the other side of it. It's like, yeah, they played nobody, but they beat the crap out of everybody, right? So it's, and the one game, last time when they didn't beat the crap out of somebody, the next night they beat the crap out of them. And it's like, you guys all say, and I'm with you, that they're going to beat the crap out of Valpo tonight, right? So, anyways, I still like Towson over Charleston for I'll let Ruffalo hang on to exactly the same thing that I said yesterday. There's no way I'm laying 4 points with Charleston against anybody. Especially
that was a sweater yesterday. That was a tough one. We got it with Towson, but man, they make you sweat.
Yeah, that's Towson basketball. It's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
That's Towson.
I mean, that's the Towson we know and love. Got Villanova, Georgetown, Wichita, Temple, Illinois State, Missouri State, Bradley, Southern Illinois, Northern Iowa, the official Brian Bittler team. Where's that Northern Iowa hat? Cal versus Stanford, the rematch. Matt Bradley. Ooh, that guy's good, man. And Nevada against Boise. Brian, any of these?
Well, I already said I like Villanova, but going a little further than that, I like Cal. If you want a game to bet after the Super Bowl, I like the Cal Bears tonight plus the points. I just think you're getting a lot of value.
It just played. I had Cal last game. I didn't get the cover. I mean, I agree with you. But they just played. So it's like I'm not rushing to the window. Cal has one good player.
Oh, there'll be a lot of people desperate after winning or losing in the Super Bowl, and they'll want to bet something. Maybe they'll jump on that Cal game.
I'll tell you, the best Super Bowl party I ever went to was Joe D'Amico's. Chris?
He is the host of Vegas.
He is the host of Vegas, man. He had the best Super Bowl party. Chris?
Yeah, the two I like here. I like Indiana State getting the free bucket against Northern Iowa. I think Indiana State's just a far better team, and they had the line wrong yesterday, and I think they have it wrong again today. So give me Indiana State get the free bucket. And I like Boise State to bounce back against Nevada. Boise State just didn't get the cover last time. I think they get it today against this Nevada team.
They lost outright. They lost outright. Yeah. In the game, they were winning the entire game.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they lost by 2.
Yeah, I don't even know how they lost.
Who?
Boise State.
Boise.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take Boise State. I think Boise State's a great bet for today.
Ron Romanelli.
Yeah, I agree. I like Boise State. They didn't get the job done the first time. I think they bounce back and take down a Nevada team that I'm not really impressed by. I think Boise State's the much better team. I think they play a full 40 today. And then I also like Cal. I like Cal in the points. I think this is too many points. I know these teams played. Stanford got the 15-point win last time out. But other than kind of a lack of effort in the end of the first half, Cal really competed basically the whole way. They won the first quarter of the game, and the third quarter of the game just got pounded at the last part of the first half. So I think if they give out full 40 minutes, you'll get a cover, maybe even an outright win. I'll take the points with Cal.
Where does Temple sit on the stench scale? Like, how bad do they stink? Are they, like, super stinky? Are they, like, sort of stink? Or are they just full-blown stinkopotamus? Or are they just, like, you know...
I thought I was headed to a cover with Temple the other day.
No, it's not.
It opened.
No, that's not.
They were plus 2.5, and it went to -2.5 by tip-off. So.
Yeah, and then they lost by 40, right?
They didn't lose by 40.
That's by 3.
They didn't cover.
Without the game against Tulane, they're favored by like 8. They lose by like 60. It's like, yeah, they're hideous.
Temple needs a new coach.
Yeah, they need a new coach, and they need some other things. Rod's got that nice glare right down the middle of the screen. What do you got, Rod?
Temple's on my shit list. They're over here. They're dumpster trash. Forget that. You can't beat Cincinnati. You go over here in the dumpster pile. So, for me, I like Missouri State Bears over Illinois State. These teams just played. Illinois State got a 6-point win or 7-point win. So the Lions, I think they do it again. They're just a stronger team on the road, better team overall too. Illinois is 4-1 on the road, 3-1 ATS. I like the Bears here to get the win over the Redbirds there. I'm going to take Nevada. Boise couldn't get the job done the first time. I think Nevada still hangs with them here today. If not, beats them outright. And I'm also going to take Georgetown plus the points at Villanova. Georgetown's been playing pretty good lately. Their last few games, they're 4-1 ATS, their last 5. I think Villanova wins that game, but I don't think they cover. Give me the Hoyas plus the points on that one.
I like Wichita against Temple. Temple just sucks bad, man. Suck really bad. I like Southern Illinois against Bradley. I like St. Salukis. Take Hampton as well over High Point. The low point for High Point. Today's game against Hampton. Anyways, it brings us to our NHL segment. We'll let Ruffalo take over. I'll take a breather. Come back and talk Super Bowl.
Take a reprieve.
Damn, no Flames today.
Okay, Chris, it's all you.
All right. Well, it's all an early slate today. 5 games. We'll start with the first couple. We'll go Philadelphia, Washington at 12 o'clock, and Detroit, Florida, and Chicago, Dallas. Brian, any of those?
For me, the only game that really tickles my fancy are the Chicago Blackhawks plus money there. I just think you're getting a ton of value with a Blackhawks team that has a good upside now that they found their goalie. So I'm going to go with Chicago here plus money.
Ron?
I'm going to lay the puck line with the Florida Panthers. I think they can get a 2-goal win, probably a blowout win at home over a Red Wings team. Can't defend, can't really score. Panthers have been looked sharp really this season. I'm really impressed with this Panthers team. Didn't expect this start from them, but I think they get at least a 2-goal win. So I'll lay the puck line at plus 105.
Ron?
For me, I like the Flyers. Couture's back for the Flyers. He makes his first start of the year. That'll be a huge boost for the Flyers. They get the win over Washington. I like Detroit today. Keep it close. Take Detroit plus the 1.5. I see that as a 1-goal game. Detroit likes to play in Florida too, so I think that game's closer than people think. And Chicago off of a win. They're not so good. I think they're 4-21 off of a win. And they won their last game out. They're coming in to play Dallas. Dallas is just too much. They shut Chicago down. I like Dallas on the puck line there.
For me, I the only one I really like in this time, so I like Florida, like Ron. I like Florida on the puck line. Just Detroit looking like the team that finished last place in the NHL last season at 2-10 combined this season. 1-5 on the puck line on the road. I think Florida wins this one at least 4-1, 5-1. So, a comfortable victory for the Panthers here. And the last two, we got Carolina at Columbus, and the Los Angeles Kings at the Vegas Golden Knights. Brian, either of those?
I'm going to take a pass on those. Like I said, the Chicago Blackhawks are my only play that really tickled my fancy today. Blackhawks.
Ron?
I'll take a lean on the Carolina Hurricanes on the money line. Who knew that at this point of the season, James Reimer would have a better goals against average than Korpisalo, but that's the case. And the goaltending duo for Carolina's done well this season. Either option's good for me. I'll take the Canes and take them on the money line.
Ron?
For me in the Carolina-Columbus game, I'm going to take the over 5.5. I think we definitely see enough goals in that one. I see 4-2, 4-3 type game. Give me the over in that one.
Yeah, for me, the only one I really like here, I like Vegas on the puck line against the Kings. I just think this Vegas team's really starting to turn the corner again, and LA, well, they're starting to look like the team that we thought they'd be at the beginning of the season. They were playing well, and now they're back to getting their butts kicked every night. And I think going into Vegas, a team that's playing really well out of the gate and taking names at home to start the year, I think it's just a bad combination. So I'll take Vegas on the puck line here. That's our hockey schedule for the day. 5 games.
If anyone knows about getting their butt kicked every night, it's Ruffalo. Anyways, it brings us to our NFL Super Bowl segment. Before that, Brian, coming off of your best day and that I can remember, and you've had some good runs of where you've strung together winning days and stuff, but you've never had can't remember a 7-0 day for you.
Yeah, it wasn't just my premium picks, just like stuff I bet for $60 or $55.
One of those days.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it should have been in one of those days. You should have been in Vegas. Yep. What do you got today for Super Bowl Sunday?
Looking for 3 out of the last 4 days have been winning days, so I'm looking to build on that 7-0 yesterday. I got my Sunday blank check 3-pack. You get my NFL blank check in that NFL pick. You get my MVP pick and my first touchdown score, college basketball and NBA selection, all for $40 at pickdogs.com premium pick section.
Chris?
Yeah, for me it was a bit of a rough day yesterday, but that's fine.
We're talking about today, what you have for sale today. We're just trying to keep it brief.
I know. Appreciate the good days. So today I'm going to use that to bounce back. Stacked Sunday, college hoops 3-pack, $29.95. 3 of my favorite plays on the board, and I have my Super Bowl master key, the one play that you're going to use to unlock all the winnings today. So $25 over at Pick Dogs Premium.
Ron.
Yep, Super Bowl Sunday. You can grab my top 3 plays of the day. Super Bowl pick, of course, and then my top NBA play and college hoops play. Usually a good day for the books, but today we take them down. So I got those 3 plays for $29.95.
And for me, it's I got a solid Sunday 5-pack. I've got 2 college basketball winners, 1 10-star NHL play of the day, 1 NBA slam dunk, and my 20-star Super Bowl side winner. I've only put out 2 20-star plays in the history of Pick Dogs, and we're 2-0 on those, so let's make it 3-0. Solid Sunday 5-pack, $29.95 over at Pick Dogs Premium.
All right, I got a college basketball 3-pack. Well, we got the Super Bowl. Today is the day. I just really don't like this game. If this was on a regular Sunday, I would not have a pick at all. It's that kind of game for me. I can make an argument both ways. I can make an argument both ways, and I think we saw the big money on the Chiefs early, and now we see the big money on the Bucs late. So it's the late money is generally a good sign for a team, but it's not that 80% that we saw on the Chiefs, in 2 weeks ago. The bulk of the money bet on the Super Bowl is bet, well, like any other event, the day of the game. There might be $1 million or $10 million bet before the game, and there's $200 million bet on the day of the game. It really is that kind of thing, and so you can look so much into it. Tom Brady has looked well. I pretty much have stuck myself out there, and Tom has pretty much shown exactly on those things. But this is the best team he's had in a long time. The most support he's had, and he's been able to use that to overcome some of his own shortcomings. It's where he is at this point in his career. We don't take anything away from what he's accomplished, or even this year what he's accomplished. But as I'll say it again, his arm strength is not what it was. It's not even close. Last time out against the Packers, he had one good deep pass. That was it. He had one. It went for a touchdown. It was the difference maker in the game. It was the play right before the half. But outside of that, it was 3 interceptions. And that is what we've seen from Tom Brady a lot. He has a better defense than, I don't know if he's had better defenses than Bill Belichick defenses. He certainly has he has more stars on this defense than he's had on any of his other ones. And then he's got better receivers than he's had, I believe, ever. He had Randy Moss the one year, but he didn't really have the cast of receivers that he has this year. And he's, obviously his Super Bowl resume is his resume: 6 wins, 3 losses. It's tough to deny that. On the other side, you got a guy who's 1-0 in Super Bowls. This guy is kind of like the Lakers, man. He takes 3 quarters off, and in the last 10 minutes, it's like, you better be clear, like way clear, because he's going to get you every time. Will it be enough to cover a 3-point spread? I don't know. I could honestly see this being a push, at 3. I don't see any 3.5s out there anymore to be had. So, if you got 3.5, you were one of the first bettors. If you got 3.5, if you buy a pick that's 3.5 and you lose, we'll gladly refund your money. If it's 3. But anyways,
so who you got, Mitch?
I took the Chiefs. I took it on I took it on the free video. I took the Chiefs. I don't like the game. I can't get there with either team. And I believe me, if you can get a push, if you can bet that the Chiefs, I think there's a bet out there, a prop bet. Chiefs win by exactly 3. I like it. I like it a lot. And I could see it being a 3-point game. I could see it being a 4-point game. I could see scenarios of the Bucs winning outright. I don't see like 38-36. I don't see 30-28. I don't see 20-18. I don't see any of those. I see either a 3-point game. I can get there. I've gone back and forth over this thing, all over the place. I built a case for the Bucs, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe I'm really, really missing something this time, but I don't see it. And it's. But I'm so convinced. This is how convinced I am. I can't even put a premium pick for the first time in 15 years on the Super Bowl. It's like first time in 15 years I don't have a premium pick.
I think we're on different hemispheres. I think I see it totally as an easy, clear-cut winner, and you have trouble getting there, which happens.
Well, because you don't handicap the game, you only look at the line movement. I don't see. Show me how you get there.
The Buccaneers have one of the best defenses in the league. I think it's underrated. Number 1 against the rush, 9th overall. I just think their defense doesn't get enough credit. And I think they're going to come to play defensively today. That's why I like the under. Can we go into our picks? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, yeah.
If you have props too, throw them in here, and first touchdown scorers, whatever you want to do. It's like it's not the Mitch, thing about it. I would believe me. I would love to hear you get there because the Chiefs have the number one offense in the NFL, and I haven't seen anybody really. We've seen people bottle them up. We've seen people slow them down. We've seen games where Mahomes can't get the ball down the field. We have seen all of those things, but nobody has legitimately stopped these guys and haven't had a situation inside the game where they've been made look really, really bad. And I could see Tyreek Hill undressing those Bucs defenders. I could see it. Because they come up for the big hit. The Bucs defenders are big hitters. And when you're a big hitter and you miss on a Tyreek Hill or McCole Hardman, it is a touchdown 100% of the time. 100%. It's not like, some of the time or whatever. On the other side of it, Mike Evans catches balls that, this is a guy that's so underrated, so underrated. One of the top receivers in the NFL. If you probably look at salaries, I'm sure he's up in the top 5. He's got to be. But go ahead.
In this game, I'm going to go with the under here. The unders definitely could have easily been a premium pick, but I don't like to give a premium on a side and a total in one game. I just think the Buccaneers are going to be running the ball heavy. Take a little pressure off of Brady. It's not the Brady of young. And then on the other side, the Chiefs are going to struggle to run the ball, I think. And I think the Buccaneers can take away the pass. We'll see. I think it goes under easily.
Mike Evans is the 9th highest paid receiver at $16.5 million. Tyreek Hill makes $18 million, so he makes slightly more than him at number 7. Julio Jones, $22 million. Keenan Allen, $20 million. And Amari Cooper, that contract we talk about all the time, 20. You don't see him anywhere near a Super Bowl. Michael Thomas, perennial playoff player. DeAndre Hopkins, forget about it. A.J. Green, the Bengals made the playoffs more years in a row than anybody. Tyreek Hill, Odell Beckham Jr., Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, and Adam Thielen. One of these fish doesn't belong in this pond. Chris, any thoughts on today's game? You gonna be watching my halftime show? You gonna smash the like button, maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna smash on 2 different devices.
Nice.
I'm gonna come on to bust your balls.
Absolutely. Come on, bust my balls.
I'll even call to get my mom to give you a mom like.
That'd be nice. I love me some mom likes. Great radio show. Chris's mom likes this.
I'm only here for the T-shirts. I think I'm leaning Tampa Bay in this one, just because I do think it's going to come down to a field goal, like I said yesterday, and I think it's all going to be about Tampa Bay's defense, like Brian said. I think if they can get at least some pressure on Patrick Mahomes behind an offensive line that's being held together with duct tape right now, and Mahomes is missing his blindside left tackle, so I think. I
think Eric Fisher is one of the more overrated players in the NFL.
Potentially, but I just think he's going to be.
You think he's the most? You think he's the most? I think he's the most overrated offensive lineman in the NFL.
Offensive lineman, probably, yeah.
I think he is. I think he is the most overrated offensive lineman in the entire NFL. Just my take. Whenever there's a massive blunder, it's always him. It's always him. I'm not saying he's the worst. I'm just saying he's the most overrated.
I just think that if, with everything that's going on that Tampa Bay offensive line, Tampa just took it to a Green Bay offensive line that was number 1 in the league. And I think they can put some pressure on Mahomes, and I think they can at least keep themselves in this one, give themselves a chance to win it late. But I like this as a 3-point game as well. But I'll take Tampa Bay with points.
Tom Romanelli.
Yep, I'm going to take the under. You think these two teams, two solid offense, especially Kansas City, like Mitch said, number one offense in the NFL. But I think this is going to be a defensive battle. I mean, it doesn't even need to be totally defensive to get under this really steep total in my eyes. Total opened up at 57, now down to 56 for a reason. Just think that both defenses are going to have to step up. If the Bucs are going to have a chance to win this game, they're going to have to take pressure off Brady, and that means running the ball a lot with Fournette and Jones. So I think this is going to go under the total. I also have some props I'd like to give out. I have the under 14.5 for the largest lead by any team throughout the game. I don't see any team going up by more than 14 points in this game. So I like that play. I like Tom Brady under 25.5 completions. He hasn't gone over that at all, not even close in the first 3 playoff games. I don't see it happening today. Tyreek Hill over 96.5 receiving yards. He's done it the last 2 playoff games, 110 and 172 receiving yards. Even if the Bucs win, I still think Hill's going to have a big game. And then my first touchdown score is going to be Leonard Fournette at plus 1,100 for Tampa Bay.
Oh, I forgot about my first touchdown.
Rod?
For me, in this one, I'm with Brian. I like the under. Tampa Bay is going to try to control the clock with running. As we know, that's the one weakness that Kansas City has is their run defense.
They have the best defensive tackle in the NFL.
They're still their run defense. They love giving up 122 yards a game. Numbers don't lie there. So that's where Tampa Bay is going to try to exploit if they can run the ball.
Teams are trying to keep away.
Yeah, if they can keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands is what they're going to try to do. Because, nobody's stopping that offense. Mahomes they go down the field and score. It's like we've seen it all second half of this year. Sure, they haven't covered, but they've been scoring at will. I have no problem scoring the ball. So that's why I like the under. I think Tampa's going to try to keep it out of Mahomes' hands as much as they can. So I like the under there.
Tampa Bay,
I'm with Rob.
28th in the NFL in rushing yards per game. 20.
I know.
28
versus 21. That's your the Bucs. The Bucs of
28th.
And they're 28th rushing the yards. So I like the under. My first touchdown score is going to be Fournette. I'm with Ron. I like that same touchdown score, but I also like take Gronkowski anytime score. You can find that plus 175. And another prop. I'm going to take the Chiefs. They call tails as a play. And I'm going to take the Gatorade color is going to be lime, green, and yellow.
It's always red.
You're a degenerate.
It's always red. It's always red.
For plus 450. Last time it was orange.
It's always red.
This time I'm going to go with. You can get 3 colors with that one. You get the lime and the green and the yellow.
These teams played earlier this season at Tampa Bay. It was a 3-point game. The game was never that close. The Chiefs had run away and hid. They were beating the dog crap out of the Bucs. There was a few controversial calls that went the Bucs' way, and they clawed their way back into it and dressed it up at the end. And the Chiefs won by 3, laying 3.5, with the public all over the Chiefs in that game. It was not nearly as close as the score. It wasn't that long ago. It was 6 or 7 games ago. It was really not a close game. And what we saw in that game was that the Tampa Bay pass defense was hideous. I mean, they got undressed. And they finished the season getting undressed pretty much all the way, right? I mean, they were undressed and undressed and undressed time and time again. I think that's what's going to happen again here. I think, I think that you look at that Tampa Bay run defense, and yeah, they're really, really strong. And the Chiefs only ran for 87 yards in that game. against the Bucs, and the Bucs ran for only 75 yards in that game against the Chiefs because they were so far behind the whole game. They weren't able to run. They only ran 13 times in that game because they were behind from the get-go. They were buried. I think at halftime. Let's see what the halftime score was there. It was 17-0 in the first quarter. They came out and just lit them up, and it was 20-7 at halftime. But so that takes the running game right out of it, and then Mike Evans caught 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter to dress it up a little bit at the end. But it was over. It was a foregone conclusion at that point. I don't see how the Bucs pass defense improves at all since then. And if anything, the commentary that I've heard from these guys here makes me feel stronger about my Chiefs pick. To be honest with you, I don't see it. I can't get there, and it's like that. You think all of a sudden, the 28th ranked rushing attack is gonna be able to move the ball on Chris Jones. It doesn't happen. We saw it last year in the Super Bowl with a much better rushing team, a team that ran the ball for 400 yards the game before they got in between the Chiefs, and when push came to shove, they got absolutely stoned. And I just don't see how the Bucs get there. I'm going to be on the Chiefs again here.
2 stud running backs there. I mean, Fournette's playing for a contract. He had a 1-year deal with Tampa.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's out of the game in the first quarter.
And you've seen him get progressively better, though.
But we've also seen him get progressively injured in big games at LSU. Constantly, he was injured.
And Ronald
in big
Jones
games.
is
And that's why Jacksonville cut bait with him too. It's like when you really need him, and when he's struggling in those big games, he gets injured. It's like when it's 2 yards and oh man, I can't play. It's like he's one of those guys that if it's not working, if it's not going his way, he wants out. When the going gets tough, he goes to the sideline. And that's what he's shown throughout his career. He showed that at LSU, and he showed it in Jacksonville, and they showed him the door. He was the number 4 overall pick, and they cut him. They got 0 back in exchange for him. Nobody would give them anything. The lucky penny, heads or tails, what will the coin toss be? I've been wrong before on games, I'll tell you that much. But this one, the more I see it, I don't see how all of a sudden they're going to be able to run the ball and how all of a sudden that pass defense is going to be able to cover the Chiefs. It's like they weren't able to do it, 3 weeks ago. So now all of a sudden, the guys, one thing, you can always have a better strategy. Right? You can always come into the game with a better game plan. You can always come into the game with a better this. But you can't game plan 4-2 speed. You cannot game plan that. That's like what Roger Clemens' pitching coach used to say in Boston. They're like, well, what makes Roger Clemens a great pitcher? 102-mile-an-hour fastball. Can't coach that. It's true. Anyways, Lucky Penny's going to say whether it's going to be heads or tails, the coin toss today. What if it's one of those coins that says Bucs and Chiefs on it? How does that work? For betting purposes. Rod's muted. So everyone here is on the Bucs except for me, right? Is that what's going on? That's what it sounds like. Lucky Penny says tails. Will be the coin toss. I think everyone's on the Bucs. I don't know. Could be. Like I said, not really that don't really have that much of an interest. But I will be on at halftime. So hopefully we have a game. I believe I was on at halftime of the first Bucs-Chiefs game. Probably lost it. Probably lost that one. Tyreek Hill. Let's look at some of the individual stats from that game. A minute or two. So Mahomes threw for 462 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first meeting. 462 and 3 touchdowns. So that was that Tampa Bay pass defense that you guys are talking about. Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran for 37 yards. Mahomes scrambled for 28, and Le'Veon Bell had 5 carries for 22. So they were unable to run the football. That's how Tampa Bay got in. Tyreek Hill had 13 receptions for 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. You cannot coach speed. You cannot coach that up. When you see Tyreek Hill, 13 receptions, 269 yards, and 3 touchdowns, you know what that means? You're in deep, deep shit. Deep shit. And, you know, the only thing you can do is put 2 or 3 guys on him, and that's going to leave somebody else in single coverage or zero coverage. I'm going to take Travis Kelce to score the first touchdown today. I don't know. I wish everybody luck. Like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. You know, if I'm giving it out as a free pick, I'm taking the Chiefs. But, you know, we got under for Bittler. Ruffalo, what do you got again?
I'm on the Bucs, and I like Travis Kelce as well.
Bucs with
My
Kelce.
touchdown, I forgot to give that out.
Ron, who'd you take?
Under and Leonard Fournette.
Under and Fournette, and Rod, you had under.
And Fournette.
And Fournette. And Brian's touchdown is in the premium area, right?
It's with my blank check NFL play.
It was his kiss of death last time. On the,
well, see, the problem
he
is
was on like this heater for touchdown scores. He puts it in with his premium pick.
If I give out my MVP and touchdown score, everybody's going to know who I picked.
Took like a month. Really?
Yeah.
Like
if I said the MVP is going to be Pat Mahomes, well, he took the Chiefs. Well,
there's been MVPs from losing teams. It's happened. You don't see it too often.
I'm very confident about this. I think this has been the easiest Super Bowl maybe in a decade. So we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I think
lucky penny.
I think looking back at this other game, I think it might be the easiest Super Bowl that we have seen. I think looking at this, and maybe I discounted it. You know, maybe I let one get away here. But if I give out a free winner, then so be it, man. 269 yards and 13 receptions, 3 touchdowns. You know what that means? That he would have gone for 4,000 yards, but the end zone kept getting in the way.
You need to get Tyreek Hill jersey or something.
That's what we used to say in Miami. You know,
they're gonna. I think they line up.
When Edgerrin James ran for 450 against UCLA, it's like he would have ran for 1,000, but the end zone kept getting in the way.
Buccaneers have a hell of a defensive coordinator. They're gonna draw up a game plan. They're gonna beg them.
Well, then why didn't they do it this time?
They're gonna line up to stop the pass and let them run the ball, which will lead to a nice under. But we'll see.
Then they'll run those
because the Super Bowl is everything. I mean, the regular season game. We'll see.
Then they'll run.
I'm not saying either side's going to win or cover. I'm saying it's going under.
So here was a prop bet that I gave out on yesterday's show. I said that over how many Chiefs players will have a rushing attempt. I said over 4.5. Looking at the last meeting, only 3 players carried the football in that game. They did not run the jet sweep in that game, a play that they run almost every single game, at least to Hardman, if not Hill as well. And even Watkins gets that play.
Chiefs don't run a lot.
Well, they have. They do. They've run. You know, they've run.
No.
It's they didn't need to run in that game. I mean, when your quarterback throws for 500 yards and you got one receiver that they can't cover, why don't you just run the same play every single time? I mean, that's the Bill Belichick thing. It's like make them stop it.
What's the over/under for Tyreek Hill receiving yards?
96.5.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, probably, because then it's just going to leave everybody else open. I tell you what, but Tyreek Hill is one of those guys that's his yards after the catch is what he's all about, right? He's a yards after the catch guy. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. Like I said, it's more of a lean than anything else, but that's going to be our show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Do we have parlays for today, or you guys want to do a prop? I did my prop with the lucky penny. We said tails. Chris, you want to do a quick parlay or prop?
Yeah.
Parlay or prop?
Yeah, college hoops parlay. Like Drake, Indiana State, and Boise State.
Rod?
I got Drake, the Hoyas plus the points, and the Missouri Bears. Minus the 6.5, I think it is.
I got a 3-teamer, 3-sport parlay. You take Drake, the Miami Heat, and the Florida Panthers on the puck line.
Going around the world there. We call that the around the world. Brian?
And throw the under in there in the Super Bowl, 4-teamer.
Brian?
Oh, I'm going. Yesterday I hit my 5-team parlay I gave out for free. I'm going for 3 out of 4 days of parlay winners. Another 5-teamer here. Miami Heat minus the points. Tampa Bay Buccaneers under the number. Drake, Villanova, and Boise State all laying the points. Those 5.
I'm going to go back to
$50.
I'll go back to a prop from yesterday's prop show. First turnover, interception. Will Tom Brady throw an interception? Yes. First player with a turnover, Tom Brady. All 3 of those. I think all cash in one play. Anyways, this is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Brian, Chris, Ron, another spectacular football NFL season. I'll see everybody at halftime. I want to thank everyone at Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs that have contributed to our NFL section. Ruffalo, Ron, Randy Chambers, of course, Shane, Andrew Jett, Chris. Who else am I leaving out?
I'm not sure.
Ron, am I leaving anyone out?
Brett.
Fantasy. Does that count?
I think he was doing some write-ups.
He was doing NFL.
All right. Okay. We don't count fantasy on this show. Brett.
How can you not count fans?
Brett. Okay, Brett. I'm just kidding, Brett. You know that. Anyways, have a great day, everyone, and we'll try and act more professional tomorrow. I'll see you guys at halftime. Maybe I'll have some pizza.